Well, good morning, good Monday mindset morning, which is motivating you because it's Motivational Monday. We are here with you. We're having a little difficulty with the connection, but we're going to get through it. A thought today: fully embracing that you are always at choice is where personal freedom lives. You know, we have been talking about Black history, and in case you haven't heard, check out our new radio show, Vibe Talk After Dark. It is all about music and your conversations and song dedication. We did one this weekend that talked about Black history and our black butterflies, which they represent, because when I look at a butterfly represents freedom. And during Black history, they overcame much to get to freedom. Now, where do you want to take this freedom? And how does freedom affect you personally? We're going to be talking about that, and I hope you all will have the mindset to get motivated to do something different. We're here for you. I'm thankful that I got a chance to watch the Super Bowl. How many of you watched the Super Bowl? And congratulations to the Chiefs for their win. It was a good game and had fun. This weekend was really fun. Got a chance to spend it with my bonus son from another mother and his wife and their son. Had such a great time Saturday night, and it's nice when we can spend time together with our loved ones. I'm hoping that today is going to strike a chord to you listeners as we have Vibe Talk conversations. And by the way, our conversations are indeed interactive. And if you don't know that by now, you are new. What I like about our conversations is that it gets things off of your mind. I'm glad you could be here with us. What are you all thankful for? Our lines for Vibe Talk is 661-503-8993. We're here for you. So, personal freedom. Since freedom was not given to many of the people during the time of enslavement, their mind was free, and they used their minds to invent, to create, to be innovative, which is the same. And they were able to do this because they fully used their minds. Now, as you think about Black history, your Black history, all of our Black history, what are you doing right now to free your mind. Because this is something that we need to talk about, fully embracing the thought that you're always having a choice for personal freedom. You know, many people say, I can do whatever I want. Many young people can't wait to get out of their parents' home so that they don't have to be told what to do. I'll be glad, people say, to quit this job because I can do whatever I want to do. We're going to take a different look at that this morning. Good morning, Trish. And what are you thankful for?
Good morning, and I'm thankful for being 1 week ahead in my schoolwork.
Love that. Congratulations. Congratulations. So we're going to be looking at personal freedom, guys, and how it fits with us. Of course, as you know, we are not in any way going to tell you what to do, but we're going to help you to be motivated in your mind. We'll be right back.
Feel free to be interactive and tell us your stories.
Don't forget to join our other social media pages. YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to that as you see all about us. And in case you are missing any episodes live, we're streamed everywhere. But we're also on YouTube. Our episodes, its full entirety. Check us out on YouTube. Facing the Lion podcast. Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Our line is open, ladies and gentlemen. And we look forward to you calling us. How do you use your personal freedom? We're going to be talking about that. And we're going to get a good look at personal freedom. Well, what is personal freedom? Is it really doing whatever you want, whenever you want? You know, when I was out of my parents' home, I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. I'm 18. I can go to the 7-Eleven and get me an ice cream at 1 o'clock in the morning. I can go dancing and not have to be home. I don't have anybody telling me what to do. Now I'm 56, and now I get the choice to be able to think about that versus what it looks like right now. See, we all have expressions and opinions of freedom. We're conscious that we have a right of freedom. But now, what does your personal freedom look like? You're going to put yourself in the chair of freedom. See if that's what you really have, or is there something keeping you encaged, enslaved, or bondage to other people's opinion? Because some of us need to get. So true personal freedom, when you think about it, is your choice. You're not tied down to anyone, any commitment, because you're yourself. You know the thought of do you, be you? Well, that's where that comes from, that thought of being free. Sometimes we take our freedom up a notch or two. We are over and beyond on some freedoms. But today we're going to have a motivational conversation, and you are welcome to join in. So let's think about this. What were some things that you had to give up in order to be completely free? What are some things that you may still be thinking about giving up to be completely free within? Because your freedom and my freedom may look totally different. That could really be something. Your freedom and my freedom could be totally different. How do you view your freedom? What do you think, Trish? Good morning.
Good morning. How I view my personal freedom. That's a deep question.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought of that before, but as I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking in terms of speaking up and saying no to things that people pressure me to do, and I don't have to do it, and that's in my freedom to say no. And also, I find freedom in having a positive mentality, like when I'm fearful and I'm anxious, I feel free when I can calm down and actually recollect my thoughts and have a positive mindset.
Love that. Thank you. And it is a deep question. You know, Vibe Talk is noted for talking about the social, emotional, and mental health of you. And as a professionally trained life and wellness coach, I help myself as I'm helping. But now when we think about those personal freedoms, it involves you, the person, your choice. You know, because a lot of people believe that they are free. And then they say, people are telling us what to do. Well, is telling you what to do viewed as you don't want to be told what to do? Or is that someone who's telling you, no matter what they are or who they are, telling you something, is it for your safety? Is it for the bettering of yourself? Or do you know what is best for you? We're going to talk about that. We're going to get right down to it about our personal freedom. I love the thought that our world, the world that we live in, many people live in deception. And they live in deception because the truth is too painful. How many of us think the truth is painful? And if you've listened to this podcast, I really want you to interact with it because it's going to jar, it's going to trigger, and it's going to help you to think about your mindset. How many of you, though, want to live in deception? Or do you wish that you were that person that could tell the truth and not think about the consequences? Good morning to Enrique. Good morning. Yes, some say the truth is too painful, and ones have been quoted to say, who wishes to live in deception? Tripped up, mistaken, undisciplined, complaining, in a rut? No one. These are base people who don't live as they wish, and so no base person is free. How many of you have thought about your life as it is right now, presently, that you are free? We're not talking about 10-year-olds. We're not talking about people who are still in the care and comfort or care of their parents. When we think about what true freedom is, everything has a price. What's it going to take for us to be truly free within ourselves? Because we see it in the world around us, people fight for change. They go out and they picket and they stand up and they tell you to fight for your right. Really? What must you give up in order to be free? Heavy, you say. Well, think about it. Truth seekers. How many of you always want to find out the truth about something? You want to find out the truth about something. And I'll tell you something, and I know that many of you will agree. The number one truth in a relationship is, can they be faithful? Is he or she cheating? Is he or she honest? So you want them to do what? Not lie. We all wish that. But here it is. When you are looking for the truth, are you ready to accept it? To accept it for everything it is. That means challenged or not. And we're going to stick with relationships for a moment because I see a lot of clients that is the number one thing. No one wants to be heard. But now, if a person is cheating on you and you find out, what do? Do you just say you're cheating and I'm gone? See, we're not here to make that decision. Or do you accept what the person has to say? Or do you even bother to ask? Because some of you are not ready for the truth. You say things like, I think he's cheating. I think she's cheating. And the first thing I ask you is, did you ask? No, but I got proof, or I'm still waiting. Well, I'm asking you, what are you waiting for? Even if it is or isn't, would you rather accept the lie or the truth? The Bible says that the truth will set you free. How many of you have read that? And it does. One of my elders, and I appreciate this. Good morning, Brandon and Red. Good morning. One of my elders said in a Bible discourse, when you read the Bible reads you. Wow. Such a beautiful statement. And that's why the truth will set you free, because everything in that Bible will read you, the person. But now, if you're not a Bible reader, it still doesn't change the fact that the truth will make you free. You gain strength from freedom. Some of us hide from reality. We put in place reality TV that is not reality at all. It's deceptive. And why do we do that? Why do we not want to face reality? I'll tell you why. Because we don't want to face our problems. Remember, I started with relationships. We are not communicating families. We are not communicating as couples. But if we want to really face something, we build a communication bridge. When we are facing and embracing our freedoms, we can look at ourselves truthfully. See, we can't expect other people to tell the truth when we're not truthful. Now, all of us live in a world, truthfully speaking, some of us are feeling very lonely. I'm not asking anybody that listens to this podcast for Motivational Monday to admit to me right now if you're lonely or not. But some of us are, and we are afraid to say that in relationship to ourselves. Did you know that you could be lonely and have a bunch of loved ones around you? Are you guys aware of that? Some of us may feel restricted, not able to say what we truly feel. We're afraid of the consequence. We're afraid of the outcome. But remember, the truth will set you free. Always remember that. Some of us get real anxiety when we think about free, what that means, freedom. When you're feeling restricted, anxious, and otherwise, remember, that truth that you hold so deeply inside of you will come out. It will reveal who you are and what your core values are. So don't ignore it. You know, this is important too because we're talking about relationships. The relationships that we get ourselves into because of the lack of freedom. We don't take action. We would rather than take action, let things eat us up inside. Communication is very important in all relationships because there are people who can't set themselves free. There are people who have lived deceptively. There are people that have no business even being in a committed relationship because they can't figure out themselves. And we are talking to those that it applies to. But here's the thing. Taking action. How many of you have, this is going to be a hard question, how many of you have taken action and have found freedom from the above things that we have mentioned? There are things you have to give up. And one is the lie that you've told yourself. And one of those lies that I hear many people say, I can fix them. Why is that a lie? Because you can't fix anybody but yourself. That's why that's a lie. But thousands of men and women believe that. And so they stay and take no action. What are some other things that we would need to give up? How many of you right now in your current situation, be it work, school, or play, feel comfort? And we're not talking about 2 seconds of comfort, 5 seconds, 10 minutes, 1 hour. We're talking about daily comfort. You are the person that seeks comfort because you avoid at any cost suffering. You know, some of us are in our own house bodies and we are experiencing discomfort. Good morning. And where are you listening in from? I am from California as your wellness coach. And this is Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Trish, you are from?
I'm from South Carolina.
Okay, Ohio. Is that Ohio? Welcome to our program. We are live on Facebook. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you get a chance, go check out our Facebook. Become one more person. We are actually 304 strong right now. That way you won't miss us because our platform streams everywhere. So people have to sometimes give up their comfort. And what does that mean? How many times have you grieved over something or someone? And I'll put it like this. Wherever you are right now, how many have you ever grieved over a loss of someone or something? If you have, please use your electronic hand. And this is an interactive podcast. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We also have a YouTube channel that are inner comments. If you go to YouTube, we'd love for you to subscribe to our channel. So now we have suffered from grief, loss of a loved one. We have welcomed suffering. And how have we done that? Because there are things that have taken away your peace of mind. How many of you have ever felt like that? That somebody or someone has robbed you of your peace? I felt like that. But then I would have to ask myself, why am I allowing that? Because no one is in control of my mind but me. Why am I giving that someone or that something that much control? See, we must stop this. We must also welcome the possibility that we can have comfort and not give comfort up. See, when we deal with such things as loss of a loved one, we grieve their sadness for endless things, bullying, fear of the unknown. The list goes on. Some of us are facing injuries, physical injuries, emotional injuries, mental injuries. This one gets me, being broke. See, we don't feel comfort because we should be able to. I like the comment from our interactive audience, but grieving is a part of the letting go. Yes, it is. Thank you all for joining us. As you join us, please tell us what state you're representing. Please and thank you. We're talking about your personal freedom. What does personal freedom mean to you all? And thank you all for joining. A lot of people are coming in. Thank you so much. And please let us know where you're listening in from. So we try to avoid these things that are a part of the life that we know now. Because as our interactive guest said, grieving is a part of letting go, yes. But how many of you want to suffer and feel bad? You might think that that's a crazy question from Miss Nisi, because no one wants to suffer. They just want to be free from the pain, free from the discomfort. We need to welcome comfort back into our lives. The discomfort that you are feeling right now has no doubt made you stronger. How many of you have come through something that was very discomforting and it made you stronger? Anybody? Me?
I have.
You want to tell us about it?
Yes. I'd say I've been through a lot of surgeries due to my birth defect, but it all made me stronger, and it made me realize how strong I can be and how I am able to heal. It's amazing what the body can do.
Yeah, isn't it? And our guest, our audience, was that a yes for your being able to get strong? And what made you strong? I know for me, going through challenges in life, especially when you get in relationships, if it isn't a good relationship and you say, yes, it is a good relationship because I can do this and he can do this and we'll make it work. I'm so glad that I've dodged bullets when it's come to relationships that weren't the healthiest. Because now that I'm out of the relationship, I can look at the relationship and say, wow, I avoided discomfort instead of not welcoming comfort. Our audience member says, I believe that it is my faith in Jesus and knowing that he is with me through every struggle has really helped me overcome many difficult moments in my life. And I'm going to have to agree with you. Thank you for that. How about fear of money? Not enough of, too much of, can make you feel not free. Come a little closer. When I say come a little closer, that actually means, did you hear me clearly? Your freedom of not enough money or too much money is a factor. You know, you can't live without money. some people fear that they'll run out of money, right? Yeah. How many of you have feared that you would run out of money or you didn't have money to buy something or get something that you really needed? Me.
I have.
A lot of people don't have financial freedom. And how does that make you feel? Afraid? Because you don't know, or for me, I should say, afraid. How did it make you feel, Trish, and our audience member as well? Feel free
It also made
to
me
join.
it also made me feel afraid and embarrassed because I've been in the situation where I thought I had enough money and I'm at the store and I go to the counter and I don't have it. I didn't have enough and I really needed that item.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Now, when we think about our freedoms with money, what are we doing with our money? Myself included. You know, saving money is important. Being able to put some away. And, when people say that, doesn't it bug you? Because sometime after you have done everything you needed to do, there is no money to save. But how about our freedom of choices? What we're buying versus what we don't buy? Because you see, money is something that we need to purchase food, pay our bills, our rent, got a car payment. If you don't got a car payment, you're maybe buying a car. Um, our audience member from Ohio, I try to make sure that my purchases are purposeful and not just because I want them. Bingo. Yeah, I like that. Thank you for sharing that. So what can we do with our personal freedom of choice with our own money? Save as much as we can and acquire skills. You're talking to me when I say I acquire skills. I remember one time we were so broke that I actually went out and made jobs. I am not kidding when I tell you this. My sons and I would go out and knock on people's doors to shampoo their carpets or to put addresses on a sidewalk. Yeah, we used to do that. So I believe in that. Now, when you think about your workplace, the freedom of money to earn and to work is yours. How does that look for you? Are you a good hire? Someone has hired you and trusting you with the skill to get done? Are you a good worker? So we have to think about those things in our freedom. Are you right now an incompatible person or a compatible person? We're going to be right back with this conversation. Please don't go anywhere. We're coming right back at you. Stay tuned. Saturday nights, come spend it with me. We are Vibe Talk After Dark, smooth and chill music, music and song dedication, and your conversations. Saturday nights, live on Instagram and Facebook. Check us out. We're back, and we're talking about personal freedoms. The question that I asked about being compatible as a person or incompatible. What that really means is, are you easy to live with? Are you easy to be with? Or are you living with someone that is not easy to be with or easy to live with? See, this requires truth. Because, many of us have come from households that we've had siblings. How easy is it to get along with your siblings? That's the first part of relationships. When I was a little girl, there's 5 of us, 5 girls and 2 boys. So we really had a large family. And I think back now, in our house, all 5 of us slept in one bedroom until people started growing up and moving out of the house. But I tell you, for the most part, we all got along. And I think about that to this day. Wow. How about you, Trish? You come from a large family, right, Trish?
Yes, my family is large. But yeah, we've learned to, because all I had was my family. So I had no choice. But you know what? It was a choice to get along with them or distance myself. So we had a lot of fun times together. And I was also in the situation where a bunch of us would sleep in one room. And my household was a family of like 10 kids. So we all all had to sleep in one room. But we all made it work. We had lots of fun. We had a bunch of fun moments. So yeah,
Nice. Go ahead.
no, that was it.
Nice. Our audience member from Ohio says that uh, they don't spend a lot of time working outside of the house, but they enjoy being a photographer. Very nice. That's what I do professionally when I'm not doing this. Thank you for that. But now, let's grow up a little bit. We talk about our compatibility with our siblings, but how about you or he? How's that working? Are you compatible? Or are you still very uncomfortable? You both are totally opposites. But you stay together for this number one reason, because you're afraid to be alone. There's a lot of people who think like that. Being truthful. Are you and your spouse, your other person, spending time freely? Are you finding similarities? Because you're going to be different in a lot of respects, but now, what if the person is really your opposite and you really are not compatible? Have you admitted that to yourself? Years have gone by. 1 year, 2 years, 15 years, and you're still together. I applaud you, but here's what I want you to think about. Are you compatible people? You should know that right off when you start to date a person. If he, she, they, them are compatible. I can always tell when people are not truly friends. They're not really close. And you can always tell. Most people who are really in love, you see them hold hands a lot. I actually, and I believe Trisha shared this with you, about the older couple. They were well in their 80s, if not 90s. And I was in the grocery store, and the lady was leaning over the basket, and her husband was holding her up while they were walking around. Well, I thought that would make great conversation, so I watched them for a while without trying to stop them. Um, and I went over to them, and I said, you're the cutest couple. And how long have you been married? And it was like, what, 50 years? You're talking about compatibility. See, they were in their truth. Because you know what the lady told me? He's holding me up. Literally. Literally. See, we get in these quick relationships, and then we find out that's not the person I want to be with. Or we get in these quick relationships rebounding from other relationships that were incompatible. And the divorce ratings are high because the person said, we're not compatible. There's really such a thing that you can get a divorce. Well, what's your truth? How do you rate in your relationship with yourself? Because when you are compatible to live with yourself, to be truthful to yourself, you're going to start to be truthful to others. Or are you like that caged bird that becomes a prisoner inside of that cage? And your emotional energy is being sucked up by your incompatible partner, or you as an incompatible partner. You people say, I'd rather be with somebody and unhappy than be with nobody and unhappy. That's their opinion. But think about it. Are you really holding to your truth? You can't change anyone, not even in a relationship. Be true to yourself and accept it as it truthfully is. We get involved with friendships too that are not compatible. You say, oh yeah, I know so and so for so long, and everything they do irritates you. The way they open up their chips, the way they chew it, the way they say hello to you, the way they text you. That's incompatibility. Sure, we're going to get on each other's nerves, but when you start feeling like that, create for you a freedom to be able to say, I'm not compatible with that person. Stop accepting their phone calls. Stop listening to their conversations. Because if you know that they aren't compatible in a friendship and you tolerate that, you are not being free. This is not to say that nobody's going to get on your nerves, because we started with siblings. Siblings get on your royal nerves. My siblings were older. And we're going to rub shoulders, but I do love them. But if it isn't comfortable for me, I'm not going to put myself in the equation. Everybody get that? Don't put yourself in equations and give up your comfort. When you think about your personal freedom, what does it mean to you? If you're still living as a prisoner, you're not free. That's not to say you don't respect rules, because many people listen to us. We're not telling you, if you're living in your parents' house, don't respect them, because you should respect them. We are talking about not allowing people to take from you this comfort. Good morning and welcome. Where are you listening in from? Please tell us as you come in. You are at Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, where we stream everywhere. So, how many of us behave in a certain way because of another? We think that's what they want us to do, so we start behaving like them. We're not free to choose our behavior. And I'm not talking about kids who are running down the aisles at Walmart or Target or any other place. I'm talking about grown folks. We're afraid to say this. We're afraid to do this because he, she, they, and him doesn't want us to do that. How many of us are working at jobs that we know that we're not really good at, but we're working because we need a paycheck? We've talked about staying in relationships. How many of us are still doing that we're in relationships where we're not compatible at all? Did you know that people have been married for years, some people, and you know they're not friends? I can always tell when they're not friends. Oh, okay. Thank you. Our audience member says, I don't do that anymore. I'm really focused on my joy. Love that. I want everybody to write joy. Thank you for that. You see how our conversation leads? That's why we asked you to be interactive. Joy is a good word, because in joy, you put yourself last. You put yourself last, because why is the yourself? The O is others. That means that you're thinking about others, but you're going to meet at the same level of freedom when you are truly interested. And the J, I want you to know that the J stands for Jehovah God. You put God in your life, and that is joy. Thank you for that. Some of us take away our personal freedoms because we don't realize that we have empowerment. Empowerment to help ourselves to thrive. Everything in our life that has happened to us while we are grown people, and I want to say this with caution because I want you to truly understand it. Everything in our life, as we're grown people, we've made conscious decisions. Nothing before that time, before the time that we became adults, nothing before that time can we blame on ourselves. Because you see, we had parents that were responsible for us, who made decisions for us, but now you are a fully grown adult, or are you? You know, you hear people walk around, I'm grown. I love it when my kids say that to me. Oh, you are? Especially the ones living with me, and there's one. You're grown? You didn't make a decision to get a house. You didn't make a decision to do this or that. See, when you're making your own decisions, and you will make mistakes, but there's going to be times where you're going to make big mistakes continually. you to move on. Because if you didn't make mistakes, how do you learn? How do you learn? If you don't make mistakes, you can never learn. How many of you are prisoners in your own bodies? You're unhappy. You're unhappy because of your own doing, perhaps? Because no one can change your emotion unless you are giving the power to them. You know, many people are fearful to talk about their emotions. Are you that one that are fearful to talk about your emotions? And that's why you see so many people acting out. How many times have you been on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Walk? I have, there's so many, um, there are so many platforms. And you've been on the platform and you say, why are they acting like that? Instead of coming to a program like this where they're able to talk about what upset them. They're able to say, somebody recognizes that truly upset me. Facebook and Instagram, you are making tons of money just because they're posts like that. Stay focused in your emotion. Be able to say why you're unhappy. Don't be afraid. I want all of you on this Monday, Motivational Monday, to get. You can make decisions and do whatever you'd like to do. Because only you at the end of the day have to have the consequence. You don't like your job? You can always find another one. But don't quit it until you do. You don't like your city or where you live? You can always move to another one or not. You know, like I hang out with certain people, you can ignore them. There's always an answer to your personal freedom. When we come back, we're going to give it over to Trisha's Treasure. We'll be right back.
Cause we're called vibetalkfacingthelionpodcast. Host of your favorite streaming. Feel free to be interactive and tell us your stories. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, YouTube, and so much more. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Go give it a shot. Face my eyes. Face my eyes.
Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We are back, and we're going to turn it over to Trisha's Treasures. Trish?
Okay, so while this podcast was going on, I was creating something for my Trish's Treasures. So I created this.
Nice. Aww.
Yeah. So I have freedom. This is my personal freedom. What's freedom to me? Freedom to think, freedom to speak, freedom to feel. As y'all can see the emojis right there. And freedom to learn, which is right there. Freedom to learn. And freedom to peace. and I have a nature picture right there because nature helps me feel peace. And freedom to be that's my freedom. And finding your personal freedom is important because our minds take in everything. We take in all of our experiences. We take in all the emotions, regardless of if we dismiss them, but it's still there in our consciousness and subconsciousness. So when we use our freedoms, which is to think and freedom to feel, that helps us exercise what it means to be free. And freedom isn't something to dismiss or something to not think about, because it's like gratitude and appreciating the things that you have. Like in Vibe Talk, we always ask the question, what are you thankful for? And having the freedom to say, you know what, I can be thankful. I can be thankful. Being free to be thankful is a beautiful thing, because sometimes we miss the things that we do have, and it's clouded with the things that we don't have. And I'm 22 and I live with my parents, and I remember when I was like 17 and I said, when I turn this age, I'm going to be probably in my own apartment. I'm going to be doing what I want to do and seeing the people I want to see. And I can do that. I can do that. But but it's not that easy. And because I'm living with my parents, I don't see in any way, shape, or form that I'm not free, because I'm able to be myself. I can still create my music, because my music is freedom. When I do music, that's freedom. I'm able to practice my faith in God. I'm able to do that. That's my freedom. And anywhere that I'm free to be me, that is a freedom space for me. So what makes you practice, or what places do you practice your personal freedom? That's something to reflect on.
I like that. Thank you. Great lion power. I like too, because it does help you to think about what is your personal freedom. And that's the Vibe Talk question. Sometime we're going to ask you the question during the podcast. And that question is, what does your personal freedom look like? What question, Trish? You want to put that in the comments? And so, if you haven't already gathered what real freedom looks like, anything right now that you're going through that is unnecessary, give it up. Find the truthfulness of yourself. What are you going to make sacrifices from voluntarily without people having to tell you, ooh, you need to change that? Or, ooh, somebody needs to get out of that. See, we don't tell people that. Your money, what is it looking like? If you say you're broke, okay. But every chance that you get to make money, and this is my go-to. Every chance I get to make money, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to put some away for now and later. If you've ever eaten the candy now and laters, not seeing those anymore. Are you, Trish?
I see them at my Dollar General.
Okay. Well, now and later used to be a favorite candy and you ate some now because you knew they were delicious. They came in different flavors. And then you save some for later. Do that with your finances. Because there's more days that I'm broke than I have money, but I can right now go and buy groceries if I need them right now. And more than all else, build real relationships. Don't be the one that says, I'm stuck in a relationship and I don't know how to get out of it. Because we're not going to tell you to stay or go. What we will tell you is to be real with yourself. How are you doing in that relationship? Are you compatible? Because it's going to take you a while to get to know the person, but when by 5 years, you should know that person. Even in a year's time, you should pretty much know that person. If you think that it's incompatible, admit that. Ask yourself, how do you feel in that relationship? We're hoping that this Monday motivation mindsets you to do better, to be better. And we hope for the rest of the week that you guys will be with us when we're live. We want to thank our audience members for being here. I want to give a special thanks to my co-host because I'm forever bugging her during non-working hours. And she gets it done, and I appreciate it. If it wasn't for her, I would not have a YouTube. And it sounds like I'm always being harsh, but I always want Vibe Talk to be something that people can find, something that they need. Because, a lot of people have wrote comments to me and have said they enjoyed the podcast. And I go, I didn't see you on there. But that's what makes the streams nice, because now you guys can find us even when we're not live. I understand that I may be somebody's, and Trish may be somebody's morning coffee, or the stress that they feel in traffic. We thank you guys for that. Our reels are always for you to see. And I want to tell you this before we go, that our reels can be found on our YouTube page in case you miss them. Our community pages, Trish and I are working hard to build a vision for what the community is going to look like. And by the way, I do one-on-ones with people, and we're starting a group sessions back. So if you want to be part of that, we ask for no money, but if you care to donate anything, we will take it. We have all that information for you. So just join us if you like our podcast. It gets real in here. Tricia, want to ask the question that we asked as our final parting?
Yes, I will. What have you learned or discovered about yourself today? And what was your experience like here today?
What I discovered about myself is that I can see myself, and when I thought that I could make good decisions as an adult, I didn't always make the best decisions. But I learned to accept that part about me, especially if I wanted to get free in some damaging relationships I've been in. And now I know how to make better decisions, because now I love myself enough not to put myself in situations that enslave me or imprison me. And it made me feel empowered today. Trish, I ask you the same thing. What did you learn and discover about yourself in today's podcast on freedom?
I learned that freedom does begin when it's in my mind. I've had insomnia for the past 3 days because I watched a horror movie and I wasn't sleeping well because I was paranoid because of it. And I did the exercises that we did last week, the breathing exercises and the nature walk, and it really did help me out. It really did. And that made me think about today that I have the freedom to decide whether I'm going to let fear control my mind or am I going to take myself into a peaceful moment and calm myself down. And my experience here today, it was reflective because when I think of freedom, I don't really think of freedom like that. So it made me think about freedom and what I do have and what my personal freedom is.
And thank you for that. I was thinking too, along with that, before we close, since we were already talking about Black history, some of us say, we didn't get very far. Honey, we've come a long way. And the only person that you need to be responsible to free is yourself. See, it's your mindset and how you look at it. Yes, there are people who still think that they can derail us, but we have come a long way. And if you think that we haven't, I got an assignment for you. Look at Morehouse College. Look at Langston University. Now, think about our Black history and that some of those people, most of the Black people living, didn't know how to read, write, or spell. Honey, we have come a long way. So your mindset, you either want to be freed or you want to be still locked up in your mind. I wish you freedom. Until next time for Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We'll see you next time. Please join our pages, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We're so happy that you guys are finding us. Don't forget, on Saturday evening is our Vibe Talk After Dark. And when we say After Dark, music, song dedications, in your conversations, what you'd like to talk about. What song can I play for you all? And you can make your dedication way before. Just put it in your comments or wherever you'd like. You can personally text us at our Vibe Talk line, Direct Connect, 661-503-8993, or even on YouTube. We'll play your songs. In fact, we had 2 dedications. We played it. And if you haven't heard our newest and latest Vibe Talk After Dark, go listen to it. We're getting a lot of response from our Vibe Talk After Dark. I also want Trish to take a moment before we leave to put her information where you can find her music, because Trish is responsible for our opening sounds and our commercials and the closing sounds. It's all Trish. And I want you to know what she does. She truly is what her name says, treasure. Thank you so much, Trish. And have a good week's beginning. Until next time, have a good day.
Just to make a resolution. I was feeling by the bars and then I got the vibe in it. I'm really to the sun, I'm feeling on the ride with me. Freedom, really got the vibe in it. The sun with it. I really let the ride with it.